Good evening, short story writers, and welcome to tonight's episode. I promised you a real life news item which pretty much follows the principles that I said at the beginning of this series, which is something unusual happens every single day and it's possible for there to be a story in it. And this was admittedly a bit of an extreme example. And can I find it on my phone? I need Safari. Where's it gone? See if I got the stories. Da 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 da. Okay, man blows up part of his house trying to swat a fly. When I was a long time ago, because it's about my third attempt at finding a way of doing this, I like the idea of sharing short story ideas. So once upon a time I had a course on Udemy, and I had a Facebook page, and I took that down simply because people kept writing religious tracts. They thought that creative writing, maybe they were correct, I don't know. A sardonic person might say that the two are kind of linked, but there was a lot of religious stuff going up, and I just thought, oh, come on, are you saying this is fiction? Really? Because it seemed to be written from a position of faith. Anyway, this is the third attempt, but long time ago, one of the ideas that occurred to me was started by a wasp flying into my car. And I thought, well, that doesn't happen every day. And I could see certain people really panicking and crashing the car and causing all kinds of horrible accidents with not very hilarious results. Well, lo and behold, someone took objection to a fly. Man blows up part of house in France while trying to swat fly. The man in his 80s was eating his dinner on Friday evening when he became annoyed at a fly buzzing around him. So he had one of those electric swatters and he whacked at the fly, unaware of a gas cylinder leaking at his home in the village of Pacuchenot in Dordogne. Oh, I know somebody who lives in Dordogne. Better make sure she's okay. Marked herself safe, as they say. So, there it is. It happened. It's like a guy walks into a bar, a fly flies into a home, a wasp flies into a car. People panic, people get annoyed. This is how short stories are written. You start off with a tiny problem, there's a reaction to it, trying to do something about the problem, and in this case it escalates the problem. I understand the guy was okay. I hope he had insurance so that his home can be rebuilt, and I'm just proud of the fact that impressed by the fact that in his 80s he had enough energy to start chasing a fly around the home. So good on him. And what could you do from this? Okay, a fly or some insect or other flies into a confined space that you are in. Maybe one is in the airplane that you're on, and the cabin crew are chasing around and knocking drinks everywhere, and that leads to maybe somebody having palpitations, and then is there a doctor on the plane sort of situation. Or maybe somebody gets stung by the bee and they're allergic to, it wouldn't be a bee, bees don't really sting unless they've really got to, it's life and death, the wasp. So they have to find some way of curing this person's allergy to this wasp sting. They have to land in an exotic place. Everybody has to get out for 24 hours because they've had a forced landing, and there are terrorism alerts. Everybody has to be vetted in case they're terrorists. So they are in a very exotic location but unable to get out, and then somebody decides to go over the balcony, go for a skinny dip in the sea, and with, again, consequences. So, it's just a matter of one thing leading to another, causing more and more problems for the other passengers. Yeah, well, they could blow the plane up, I suppose. They could try to swat it, and then the US Air Marshal decides that the person is in fact pretending there's a bee so that he can or she can do something nefarious and takes a pot shot, and this causes a hole, and the cabin is depressurized, and you get the idea. That's just a plane. How about a wasp in a submarine? How about, I don't know. What a confined space. There's always the car's the obvious one on the motorway, multi-pilots, etc., etc. On a train, snakes on a plane has been done. Train can't really go, or somebody pulls a communication cord, or whatever it is called, the emergency cord, and the train stops in the middle of nowhere, and somebody who has to go to a meeting very urgently is unable to do so, so there are lawsuits flying around. Confined spaces. How about one in the Houses of Parliament? That'd be fun to watch. But yeah, allergies to, or it could be that it's kind of a wasp from abroad, which would not be a native to our shores, and therefore, I don't know how it would go back and get its friends. Maybe it's not just one wasp; it's a nest of them in some fruit or something like that, like the old sort of tarantula in the bunch of bananas thing. So there it is. I did say I'd seen something in the news which kind of bears out that, I'm not just talking tosh. These things happen in real life. But our job as authors is to make them more entertaining as fiction. Okay, 7:17. I'm under my 8 minutes. As usual, like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this, and I will see you tomorrow evening. Have a great evening writing.